Good morning, everybody. Happy 4th of July. This is John Big Dog Wagner coming at you at my delivery in Oregon. This was a hard run. It was hard because I had sensors go bad on my truck. And with my particular truck, it comes with a Cummins engine and a PACCAR engine. And they kept replacing it with PACCAR parts and the shit wasn't working. So I ended up having to go to the dealership. So anyway, that said, I just want to talk to y'all for a minute. I just go talk to y'all. I keep telling you guys, I keep running into people and I keep seeing situations where people are talking like they are an employee of the company. And I've gotten to the point where I start telling people, stop looking at Super Ego as a trucking company. It's not what it is. Their product is trucks. Think of them as a car lot. Because that's what they are. They sell trucks. And to guarantee their payment for the trucks, they set up a one-stop shop where you can work out of their shop with all that you need so that you can make the payments for your truck. I see people saying stuff like, I drove 5 days and I didn't make any money. I should be able to make something. They got to pay me something. No, that is not correct. You are not a company driver. You are not a company employee. If you're driving for a company as a company employee for cents per mile, then yeah. As long as your wheels are turning, you should be earning cents per mile. But you're not a company driver. I can't stress this enough. You're not a company driver. You're an owner. And to put it into perspective, let's say instead of driving trucks, you're making hamburgers. You open a burger shop. Your cost per burger to make a burger, the meat, the bun, the lettuce, the tomato, whatever sauce you're going to put on there, your pickle, is $2.50 a burger. Now, you have to make a profit on that because you got to pay for your building, you got to pay for your employees, you got to cover your overhead, right? So, being that it costs you $2.50 a burger, you decide you want to build your clientele, and you put your burgers up there for $1.25, and you sell 1,000 burgers that day. Are you making money? Obviously not. You're not even going to recoup your investment, let alone pay any of your bills. So you have to make sure that what you sell that burger for is going to be more than what your cost is. And how much more depends on what you're factoring, what you're factoring as far as your overhead and how you got to cover it. It's in the details. It's in the math. You have to do it. If you don't know what your cost is per burger, you don't know what your breakdown is for your overhead. You don't know how much you have to sell that burger for to make money. You definitely don't want to sell that burger for less than what your cost is, right? Well, I use that analogy because here it's the same thing. Your cost is your fuel. Your cost is your truck payment. Your cost is your trailer payment. Your cost is your insurance for your truck, your insurance for your trailer, your insurance for your cargo. You also have a cost to the company to cover your dispatch fees, to cover your fleet management fees, to cover all the stuff that you got to cover so that you can run your business successfully. Make sense? So if you get a load, I like to use solid numbers because it's just easier. Let's say you get a load that's paying $1,000. It's a next day delivery. It pays $1,000. But that load is 800 miles, 45,000 pounds. Okay? That means you already know, first off, 25% goes to the company, so you're down to $750. You know that you're going to spend a full tank of gas, that's $500 right there. Boom, gone. That leaves you $250. Is that profit? No. Because you still have your truck payment, your trailer payment, your insurance, etc. And in doing round numbers, let's say all that is covered with $1,000. That means running a load like that, you have to do 4 days just to cover that $1,000. You continue to do that the rest of the week, that gives you 3 more days of $250. That's not what Super Eagle paid you. That's what you paid yourself. That's what you set your value at. That's what you put your worth at. Now, if you happen to blow a tire, that comes out of that $750. You got to cover your costs. If you end up broke at the end of the week, it's not because Super Eagle didn't pay you. You don't work for Super Eagle. You work for yourself. That's because you didn't pay yourself. Now, let's take that same load and let's say 800 miles, 45,000 pounds, and it pays $2,000. 25% goes to the company, it's $500. You already know you're spending $500 in fuel. Now you got $1,000 left over. If your truck, your insurance, your trailer, all that is $1,000, then you pay all that one day. You do 6 more days like that, same kind of load, you're making $1,000 a day, $6,000 for the week. When you get your check, are you going to say, oh, Super Eagle really hooked me up? No, you're going to say, I was killing it. Right? I see dumb stuff all the time. All the time. And it all comes back to people just are not doing the math. They're not doing the details. For example, tomorrow's 4th of July. I actually had a pickup on Tuesday when I should have been here, but like I said, my truck broke down. So I'm here Thursday. Loads are pretty much gone. Told my dispatcher, it's cool, I'll do a 34. Everybody goes home, they take what they take to go home. I'll get a load out on Saturday. I'll chill, I'm good. Calls me up, load pops up, going to Texas. 2,700 miles, 7 stops, 30,000 pounds. I told him that's a $6,000 run. I know the math, I visualize it. I said, that's a minimum $6,000 run. He says, yeah, I know, but they have it here for 3,500. I said, hell no. At 2,700 miles, $1 a mile is $2,700. $2 a mile is $5,400. $3,500? That's not even at the halfway point, but that's less than $1.50 a mile. No. But he's like, well, I'm gonna contact the broker and see what I can do. All right, cool. Let me know. Before he hung up the phone, damn, the load is gone. Dispatcher hit up a driver. I got this load. You want it? Good. Boom, it's off my board. 2,700 miles for $3,500. Load picks up today, delivers on Tuesday. 6 days. This driver will be tied up for 6 days on this load. I broke it down. I figured out what the 25% was. I figured he's going to burn a minimum of $1,500 in fuel. It's 6 days. That's your week. So doing the same truck payment that I have with the insurance and everything else, $1,250. By the time I was done with the calculations, the driver is negative $125. Whose fault is that? The driver had the option to say yes or no. Just like when my dispatcher contacted me, I had the option to say yes or no. Instead of saying yes or no, I came back with another number, $6,000. Dispatcher contacted the driver. Not my dispatcher, different dispatcher. Contacted the driver. I got this load going to Texas paying $3,500. Driver said he'll take it. Now this is another one of those stories like you see on those videos. I drove 6 days and I didn't make no money. Super Ego screwed me over because I didn't make no money. It's a scam because I didn't make no money. When the truth is, you were too lazy to do the math. And if you didn't know how to do the math, you were too lazy to ask somebody. And the end result, this person picked up a load, it picks up today, and it delivers on Tuesday, running 2,700 miles for $3,500. His decision, his choice. I told my dispatcher, I said, that dispatcher that put that job out should be fired. There's no reason why any halfway decent dispatcher should offer a load like that. But you get drivers that come in here and they don't know no better. They don't do their homework. They don't take time to figure things out. They don't know. Or you get drivers that come in here and I've got 20 years truck and I know what I'm doing. $3,500? Yeah, I'll take that. And they really don't know. So when people ask me, why are there so many people not making money? That's one of your reasons right there. Not everybody makes it here. Not everybody wants to take the time to take their and do what they have to do, be responsible for their business. 2,700 miles for $3,500. And then you get other people that say, how come the rates are so low? What's it going to take for the rates to start going up? Well, let's be honest. If you know you can go to the liquor store and you can get a 30 pack for 20 bucks, but if you go over there to Sam's Liquor, you can get that same 30 pack for 10 bucks, where are you going to go? If a broker knows that he should be paying $2 and $3 a mile for a load, but there's some dummy out there that's going to take it for $1 a mile, what's he going to do? You want the rates to go up? People got to stop being dumb. Enough people say no, the broker has no choice but to raise his price, right? It gets to the last minute, you got a dispatcher that'll hustle for you. He going to get that better price for you. But if you are unable to do the math and you are incapable of saying yes or saying no to a load, and know why you're saying yes or no, you're just going to take anything. And if you're just going to take anything, you're going to end up taking loads at $1.20. Now, I've seen loads as low as 95 cents a mile. And the brokers are saying, well, somebody will take it. And that's what they're relying on. Somebody will take it. Whether or not that somebody is you is up to you. The choice is yours. And the choice you make will dictate the money you take. And if you make a bad choice, you ain't gonna take nothing. But that's not because somebody's scamming you. That's not because somebody's taking advantage of you. That's because you chose not to do the math. You chose not to do your part so that you would know whether or not you were picking up something that was going to be good or not. My dispatch is ready to call him. I'm getting ready to run it because my dispatch is good. I know he'd at least got 57, 58 for it, if not more. $2 a mile is 54, 5,400. So anything over that is a win. $3,500. That driver is paying out of his pocket $125 to drive that load. Why do I say that? Because what the load pays is already spent. What the load pays is already spent. He's got to come out of his pocket another $125. To me, that's just dumb. I don't want to come out of my pocket for one day. And he's taken 6 days to come out of his pocket. Which means for 6 days he ain't making no money. For 6 days he's got nothing to take home. At the end of the 6 days, he's got to take from his bank account to give back. And it's not hard math, it's not hard calculations, it's very simple. The big number is not your number. Right out the bat, take off 25%. So if the big number is 4,000, you take off 25%, that load is actually paying you $3,000. Figure out how much your fuel is going to be. Once you figure out how much your fuel is going to be, deduct that from the $3,000. You're going to be left with a number. For example, let's say your fuel is $1,500. $1,500 from $3,000 leaves $1,500. How many days does it take to deliver the load? Let's say you could deliver the load in 2 days. That means you're making $750 a day. Now you still got to cover your overhead, still got to cover your truck payment, stuff like that. $750 for 2 days, that covers your truck payment. Five more days to make money, your truck payment's already covered with extra. Now, let's say they take it 25% and you're down to $3,000. And you realize your fuel's going to cost you $3,000. Is it possible? Of course it is. Like I told you, you run heavy, you're getting 800 miles to a $500 bill of fuel. So if you get a 3,000 mile run, 8 goes into 3,000, 2,400 times. That's how many miles you're going to get. You're still 600 miles short. So you got to fill up again. 4 times 8 is 32. That gives you 3,200 miles. So with 4 fill-ups, actually you're doing 2,000 in fuel. That leaves you $1,000. 3,000 mile run. You're doing 700 miles a day. You're maxing it out. It's going to take you 4 days to deliver that load. With $1,000 left, you're making $250 a day. With that $1,000 truck payment, it's going to take you 4 days to pay for to break even. Now you still got 3 days to make some money, so I mean, it's not all bad. But for 4 days, you haven't taken anything home yet. You have to do the math, people. If your dispatcher's an idiot, great. You still can't blame it on him. Because in the end, it is you that says yes or no to the load. In the end, it is you that says you want it or you don't want it. And if you say you want it, and it's a load that ain't paying nothing, you can't blame nobody but yourself. You have to do the math. You have to know the details of the load. You have to take the time to figure it out. Alright, so with that said, again, happy 4th of July. Once they finish unloading me, I'm gonna get over here and park, get me something to eat, and relax. Be safe.